Good day, grade 9s. How are you? I hope you are all fine and well today. We're going to continue with the Debtors Journal today. I'm going to work first a little bit with you, and then you are also going to work today a little bit by doing some activities. All right. So, like I said, the topic that we still continue from yesterday is the Debtors Journal. We use the abbreviation, the DJ, for that. But before we're going to continue the lesson for 2 minutes again, I would basically do this every day. Let's just say on the chat group hi to each other, so I can see who's attending, and then we can continue with the lesson. I can see quite a few is attending today. I'm very glad about it. I just want to remind you that as soon as we're going to continue now with the lesson, that you please keep actually away from the chat group, only if you have some questions regarding the work. So please don't talk then otherwise on the chat group. Right, we're going to continue now with the lesson. So as I said, we're busy with the Debtors Journal, the DJ. We're first going to do a little bit of revision from yesterday. So basically, what type of transactions will be written in the Debtors Journal? It's about credit sales. So items, products that are sold on credit, that type of transactions you're going to write in the Debtors Journal, and you only have one source document that applies here, and that is going to be the invoice. Then in front of you, you can see the format of the Debtors Journal with the different columns. So just if we're going to work through that again, you will see at the top, it is saying Debtors Journal of, and whatever the name of the business is going to be. In this case, we said it's going to be Lamont Traders. And then you will get the different columns there with the headings. So I just want you to look at the headings again, and we're going to talk quickly through them. So the first column is the document number column. Okay, so there you're going to write in the source document that we have said is the invoice and whatever the invoice number is going to be. The next column is the day column. It is the day on which the transaction happened, like on the 3rd or the 8th or whatever. Then details or debtors. There you look out for a name of a person, a name of a debtor in the transaction, and that is what you're going to write in there, for instance, Peter Smith. Then you have the sales and the cost of sales column. That is your two amount columns. In sales, you will write in the selling price, and in cost of sales, you will write the cost price. Right, and then we said there are some calculations. Sometimes they will give you the selling price, okay, for sales. You need to go and calculate cost of sales, or sometimes they will give you the cost of sales, and then you need to go and calculate sales. But we are going to look at some more examples now. So that is just the format of the Debtors Journal. Right, so now we're going to look at some examples. Okay, so you will see on this slideshow, it is basically this one example that I've done for you guys, and then there is a lot of transactions there. And then on the next slideshow, it will be the completed Debtors Journal. So I'm going to jump a little bit around between these two slides. So basically, we're going to look at the transaction and going to see on the next slideshow how we're going to enter it into the journal. At the top, it is saying complete the Debtors Journal for the above transactions. An example was done for you, and the example transaction is saying on the 11th of June, invoice number 56 was issued to B. Ferreira for goods sold on credit. 2,160 Rand, and the cost price is 1,980 Rand. Okay, before we go to see how they enter it into the journal, let's look just at the transaction and see what is the information they give to us. The date is there, the 11th of June. We see the invoice, the source document is there, invoice number 56. We do see a name of a person, a name of a debtor, B. Ferreira. We can see the amounts. In this case, they make it very easy. They have given us the selling price, the 2,160 Rand, and they give us the cost of sales of 1,980 Rand. So when we're going to enter it into the journal, in document number, it will be then invoice number 56, and we use the I for abbreviation for invoice. The day, the 11th, the day on which the transaction happened. Debtors is the name of the person, the name of the debtor, and that's B. Ferreira. They have given us the selling price that goes to sales, 2,160 Rand. And they also give us the cost of sales or the cost price of 1,980 Rand. So basically, that was the easy one. There's no need for calculations here. Right. Now, they say, Dilbert Traders sells goods with a profit of 20%. So the whole activity where you're going to do calculations, you're going to work with a profit of 20%. Then your transactions is following there. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 transactions, and we start with the 7th. Sell goods on credit to B. Ferreira for 960 Rand. Issue invoice 001. Okay, so let's look. What info do we have? The date. We have a name. We have 960 Rand. That is going to be your selling price. We've got the invoice and its number. So we don't have the cost of sales. You need to go and calculate the cost of sales. Right. So now I'm going to jump to the next slideshow, and we're going to see, you must remember this now, how we're going to write in the debtors journal. So look again quickly at the transaction on the 7th. Sell goods on credit to B. Ferreira for 960 Rand, issue invoice 001. And there's the entry. On the 7th, invoice 001, the name of the debtor is B. Ferreira. They have given us the 960 Rand selling price. Remember now, you need to go and calculate the cost price that you're going to write in cost of sales. And what is the formula? How are you going to calculate the cost of sales? And hopefully you are sitting also with a calculator now, so you can calculate it. Okay, I'm also going to calculate it right now. Okay, so to calculate the cost of sales, you take the selling price of 960. You're going to multiply it with 100, and you're going to divide it by 120. Why the 20? Remember, the profit percentage is 20. And then you will get 800 Rand that will go to cost of sales. So for this transaction, remember, the selling price was given. You need to calculate cost of sales. How do you calculate it? You need to know your formulas there. To calculate the cost of sales, you take sales times 100 divided by 100 and the profit percentage, like in this case, 120. Right, I'm going back now to the previous slideshow. Then the next transaction is on the 10th. Invoice issued to J. De Lange for stock purchased on credit 312 Rand. Okay, so let's look what is the information. We've got the date. We know it's an invoice. And remember now, they will always give you in the first transaction the invoice number. Like in this on the 7th, they told you invoice 001. And then you must know that you need to continue with the next invoice number. So now we're going to work on the 10th with invoice 002. We've got the name, J. De Lange, and we've got the amount, 312 rand, that will go to sales. So again, you need to calculate the cost of sales. So let's quickly read on the 10th. Invoice issued to J. De Lange for stock purchased on credit, 312 rand. So let's look at the entry. There it is on the 10th. The next invoice number, so it's invoice 002. J. De Lange, the name of the debtor, 312 rand was sales, the selling price. They've given that to you, and you need to go and calculate the cost of sales, and then you will get 260 rand. How do you get the cost of sales? You take the selling price of 312 rand times 100 divided by 120. Again, why the 20%? Remember, they've told you there just before transactions, Dilbert Traders sells goods with a profit of 20%. Next transaction on the 18th, goods on credit to J. De Lange, 864 rand, and B. Ferreira, 744 rand. So basically, you can actually say there's two transactions on the 18th, right? But it doesn't matter. We take the first one, that is J. De Lange, and we've got the selling price of 864, and we've got the date, and we note the next invoice number, and after that one, we're going to enter the next one of B. Ferreira for 744 rand, next invoice number. So let's look at the entry. Quickly look at the transaction again on the 18th. Right, and there's the entry on the 18th. So next invoice is invoice 003 for J. De Lange. 864 rand was given to us. It's the sales price. You need to go and calculate the cost of sales. How do you do that? You take the selling price of 864 rand times 100 divided by 120, and then you will get the 720 rand. And then you do exactly the same with the next one, still on the 18th, for B. Ferreira. It's just the next invoice number, so it's invoice 004 for 744 rand for sales. Again, you need to go and calculate the cost of sales. How do you get the 620 rand? Just put off, Chantal, your video. Chantal? Okay. So how do you get the 620 rand? You take the selling price of 744 times 100 divided by 120, and that will give you the 620 rand. So if we just look at the 18th again, so there are two transactions on the 18th. Doesn't matter. You do the first one and then you do the second one. There are separate invoice numbers, and you work like the basics is. You put the amounts in sales, and you need to go and calculate the cost of sales. Right, the next transaction is on the 22nd. Sell stock on credit to S. Miba with a cost price of 5,200 and an invoice was issued. So let's look again at the info. We've got the date, we've got the name S. Miba, and we know it's the next invoice number, but they say sell stock on credit to S. Miba with a cost price of 5,200, with a cost price. So they give us this time the cost price, and you need to go and calculate the selling price. So remember this time, the 5,200 will go to cost of sales, and you need to go and calculate sales. So I'm going to show you the entry. Look at it on the 22nd. It's fine, Chantal. Not necessary to say sorry. Right, so let's look at the 22nd. Next invoice number, so it's invoice 005. You've got the name of the debtor is Miba, And remember now again, this time they've given us the cost price of 5,200. So you're going to write it in with cost of sales. And now you need to go and calculate the selling price with sales. How do you do that? Now you take your cost price of 5,200 Rand, you multiply it with 120 divided by 100. I'm going to repeat that calculation. So you take your cost price of 5,200, you're going to multiply it with 120 divided by 100, and then you will get the 6,240, and that is then your selling price. And always remember, your selling price must be bigger than your cost price. Okay, on the 28th. Credit sales to B. Ferreira, 2,250. So we've got the date, we've got the name, we've got an amount that is your sales amount. So you are going to calculate cost of sales. So let's see, credit sales to B. Ferreira, 2,250 on the 28th. So there you see it. Your next invoice number, invoice 006. B. Ferreira, the 2,250 Rand will go to sales, the selling price. You need to go and calculate cost of sales. How do you get that? You take your selling price of 2,250 times 100 divided by 120, and then you will get the 1,875 Rand that will go to cost of sales. And then the last one on the 30th, invoice was issued to J. De Lange for goods purchased on credit for 1,350 Rand. Right, so it's the next invoice number. We've got the name J. De Lange on the 30th. We've got 1,350 Rand. That is going to be our selling price. So you are going to calculate the cost price. And there's the entry on the 30th. Next invoice number 007, J. De Lange, 1,350 is the selling price. You need to go and calculate the cost of sales. So you're going to take the 1,350 times 100 divided by 120, and that will give you 1,125 Rand. Okay, something that I did not say yesterday is that you need to add up your amount columns. So you need to take sales and you add up that whole column to get the total at the bottom of 12,720. And then you do exactly the same with cost of sales. You add up that column and then you get the total at the bottom of 10,600. That's part of the journal. You need to do that. Okay. So to recap just on that one, if we look at those entries in the journals, basically with your document number, it will always be invoice and what the number is going to be. Normally, they will give you the first number. You automatically then go on with the next number. Day is the day on which the transaction happened. With debtors or details, you write the name the debtors in, and then you need to check. Are they going to give you the selling price or the cost price? If they give you the selling price, then it will go to sales, and you need to calculate the cost of sales. Sometimes they will give you the cost of sales, and then you need to go and calculate the sales. And that is the reason why you need to know those formulas. And then all that you still need to do is remember to add up the two amount columns to get the totals at the bottom. Okay. Somebody's asking if the debtors decide to pay, in which journal are they going to record it? Okay, so that means somebody else is owing us money, and that person decides to pay us now. So what is happening on our side? And Tanju, you're absolutely correct there. If we receive money, then it goes to the CRJ, the Cash Receipts Journal. Well done, Tanda. Right. Now, I hope you've got some pen and paper with you. Otherwise, you've got 30 seconds to run and get it. Somebody's asking if they're entering the CRJ is in a Sunray account, depending on what columns they're going to give to you. So if there is a debtors control column in the CRJ, then you're going to write it in there. If there's not a column for that, yes, then you're going to write it in with the Sunray accounts. Right, what you see in front of you is saying homework, but you're going to do it now. I'm going to give you some time to do it, and then we are going to start to mark it. So you are going to try to do it on your own. Please don't sit just back, okay? Really try this on your own. You're going to mark your own work so you can see if you are all right with this topic or not. Okay, it is saying complete the debtors journal, the DJ, for Adams Suppliers for June 2019. Last invoice was number 10. So that means when you're going to start with your transactions on the 3rd, then it will be invoice number 11. On the 8th, we'll then continue with invoice 12 and 13. And so it will go on. Right. So I'm going to keep it on the screen there so you can see the transactions. What I just quickly going to do is in the chat group, I'm going to type in the headings of the columns because I don't know if you will remember it now quickly out of your head. So I'm going to type the headings in there. I'm going to give you basically 10 minutes. Okay, so you need to hurry up. I'm going to give you 10 minutes to quickly, roughly draw the columns, put the headings at the top, and then you start to do these transactions to enter it into the debtors journal. Right, so let me first put quickly in the chat group the headings for you. Right, there you will see. So you're going to have a column, a document number column, a day column, a debtors column, a sales column, and a cost of sales column. I'm going to keep quiet now, so I'm going to give you some time to do it. Like I said, basically 10 minutes. All right, please try to do. And then in the meantime, I will look on the chat group. So if there is any questions, you're more than welcome to put the question in the group. I just want to say, why do I do this? Because normally you don't, when you do it for homework and you get the question, then there's nobody to ask. So I want you guys now to do this activity right now. So if you have a question, then you have the opportunity to ask me. Okay, somebody's asking profit percentage. Okay, let's look. On the 3rd, I'll give you 25% there. On the 8th, you can still work with 25%. And then, let me see, on the 12th, it's 25. And then I change it on the 19th, 30%. On the 23rd, I give you the cost price there. And on the 28th, 50%. Okay, so basically, from the 3rd up to the 12th, it's 25%. The 19th is 30%, and on the 28th, it is 50%. It is there in the transactions. Remember to ask if you have a question. Okay, I will give you about 5-6 more minutes. So you need to hurry up. I can see some people are starting to finish up, but I will still give you a minute or two more. Right, people. Okay, so we're going to mark now. If you're not finished yet, it's not a problem, okay? But at least those ones that you have done, mark it yourself, see if you are working correctly or not. So let's look at the transaction on the 3rd. They say sell goods on credit to L April, 800 Rand, and the profit percentage is 25%. Right, so let's see. I'm going to show you the answer there. So on the 3rd, the invoice number, it's L April, the name of the debtor was in the transaction. I've given you the selling price of 800 Rand. You need to go and calculate the cost price. And the cost price, how do you going to calculate? Is you're going to take the 800 Rand, the selling price, times 100 divided by 125. Why 25? Because that was the profit percentage that was given to you. And then you will get the 640 Rand. Okay, somebody, let me just see here. Somebody asked, what is the method to calculate sales? So to calculate sales, then you take your cost price times 100 plus the profit percentage. So let's say it was 30%, then you're going to multiply it with 130 and divide it by 100. Right, I'm just going back now to the slide show with the transaction. So on the 8th, credit sales of goods, yeah, 2 of them is for time, 1,400 Rand, and the cost price is 1,000. And our April, 934 Rand, and the cost price is 900. This one was quite easy because I've given you the selling price and the cost price. So you just need to go and copy and paste it into your journal. So let's go to the journal. There on the 8th, there's the 2 debtors, S14 and L April. I've given both of them, I've given you the sales amount. 14 is 1,400 and April is 934 Rand. And then the cost of sales, I've given that in brackets to you guys. So 1,000 Rand for 14 and 900 Rand for April. All right. Okay, somebody's asking, ma'am, I wrote rands. Am I wrong? No, it's not wrong. So you can put the R sign or into the column. It's not necessary to do it, okay? But it's also not wrong if you have done it like that. Okay, I've seen now regarding the invoice numbers. It's my mistake, sorry. You are absolutely correct there. The invoice number I've told you, let me just go back to the previous slide show so I can show you. Right, last invoice number 10, okay? And then you should go on now with number 11, okay? And now you guys will see what I've done there. Okay, so I've got different invoice numbers there. So you just go on. So that one will be invoiced on the third invoice number 11, and then the next one 12, 13, and so you will go on. All right. Okay, so let's go back to the transaction one. And we are on the 12th, credit sales of stock with a cost price of 1,340 to S14. And the profit percentage is 25%. So please, 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 this time they say with a cost price. So they give you the cost price of 1,340. So this time you need to go and calculate the selling price. So it's S14 on the 12th. Let's look at the entry. All right, remember now just the correct invoice numbers, please. On the 12th, S14. And I've given you this time the cost price of 1,340. You need to go and calculate the selling price. And if you calculate it, then it will be 1,675 Rand. The next one is on the 19th. Goods on credit to A. Alexander for 2,350. And the profit is 30%. So we've got the name. On the 19th, the next invoice number, we've got the selling price, and you need to go and calculate the cost of sales with a profit percentage of 30%. So there you have it on the 19th. A. Alexander is the debtor. I have given you the sales amount of 2,350. You need to go and calculate the cost of sales. Let's see how you're going to do that. You're going to take the selling price of 2,350. You're going to multiply it with 100 divided with 130 because the profit percentage is 30%. And I wonder who thought they were right or wrong. And then you get this amount of 1,807 Rand and 69 cents. Trade nights, you need to start to know that if you do some calculations this year and you get an answer where it is in cents, usually you think you are wrong, okay? You are not wrong. That is possible. It's going to start happening from this year when you're going to calculate something and your answer that you're going to get is going to be in cents. Right, let's look at the next one. That's on the 23rd. Stock sold on credit, 375 Rand to our April. And also an easy one, because I've given you the cost price this time of 300 Rand. So let's look at the entry on the 23rd. Our April, 375 Rand is worth sales. And I've given you the cost of sales of 300 Rand. Right, I can see some people saying what they have wrong or what they've got correct. Doesn't matter at all. I'm actually just very glad that you have tried to practice this exercise. And let's look at the last transaction. On the 28th, sell goods on credit to J. Becker with a cost price of 580 Rand. We've got the name of the debtor, J. Becker. The cost price, please, the cost price is 580 Rand. So you need to go and calculate this time the selling price, and the profit percentage is 50%. So let's see. There you go on the 28th. J. Becker is the debtor. I've given this time the cost price of 580. You need to go and calculate the selling price. If you calculate it, you will get 870 Rand. And those of you that were done, I hope that you have added up your columns. So remember, sales, you add up all those amounts to get your total at the bottom. And the same you're going to do with cost of sales. You add up to get the total at the bottom, even if your answer is on a cent. I can see a lot of you guys that you got something right, and most of you got look like the whole activity correct. So well done, guys. I'm really very proud on you. All right. So for today, it's basically it. But I must tell you guys, we are now done and dusted with the debtors journal. Okay. So what is going to happen tomorrow is we're going to start with the next journal. So remember, it was quite easy because it was only one journal now, but we're going to add another one, and then we're going to start doing exercises where the transactions is combined. So then you have to understand which journals to use. All right. So for today, that is it. You have done, all of you have done very great. So I'm very, very proud of you guys. I just want to see if there's any questions, but it does look like that everyone is just very proud of themselves, who got it right and who got something wrong. Hey, all right. So guys, that's it for today. Any questions? Nothing? Well, thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and then we see you guys tomorrow again. Goodbye.